Resilient minds, active voices, democratic futures. Welcome to YouthWell, the podcast where young people and experts come together to inspire change.
Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we are diving into two powerful ideas for the future: active citizenship, where people will shape their communities and democracies through participation, and lifelong learning, the commitment to growing our knowledge and skills at every stage of life. Today, we will have three young and promising people who will help explore how these concepts empower individuals and strengthen our societies. So please, can you introduce yourselves?
Yes, maybe I can start. Hello, everyone who is watching. Hello, Dragana, Alexandra, and Danilo. My name is Jelena. By my formal education, I'm a sociologist. I'm from Novi Sad. I'm currently working as a program coordinator in one association of 6 youth organization, Opens, which is based in Novi Sad. And primarily my main topics that I'm dealing during my professional career is youth participation, youth mental health, and volunteering, organizing different kinds of events such as educational, creative, like big events, workshops, youth campuses, and that's it, let's say.
Thank you, Jelena. So maybe Alexandra can be the next one.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Alexandra. As Jelena, I also work for Opens, but I work on different topics. So my main field of expertise is participatory democracy and deliberative processes, as well as something that is not really connected to Opens, but it's women empowerment and care of patient organizations in Europe, and some activism, especially for a better future for patients living with bleeding disorders in the world, actually, but mainly focused on Europe.
Thank you, Alexandra, and maybe Danilo is next.
Thank you, Dragana. Hello, everyone. It is really a pleasure to be here. So thank you first for inviting us, for gathering us together here so we can discuss these topics that are very important for young people in this area, but in the whole Europe, I would say. So my name is Danilo, and I come from Montenegro. I am a PhD student at the International Economics at the University of Donja Gorica. So economics is my expertise. I deal a lot with EU-funded projects. So I'm project assistant as well at the university, and I was leading a lot of youth organizations through years. Student Business Center, Junior Achievement Montenegro, and a couple other organizations. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to working with youth, with students, with high schoolers, and with some other groups in my community, but also in the whole European area. So I'm very happy to be here with such inspiring ladies. So I think we can maybe contribute to these topics with our insights. Thank you once again.
Thank you for your introducing. So we can slightly start with our topics. So if we have active citizenship, and if we active citizenship refers to the involvement of individuals in democratic life in society, which is something beyond only voting, but otherwise including them in society, in volunteering, advocacy. How you see active citizenship? What is for you some core values of active citizenship, and what topics will you emphasize for active citizenship and youth today?
Well, active citizenship is the topic that is very important, not only in the last couple of years. I would say it was always important, but maybe in this period when we have so rapid changes, maybe it is more visible how important it is in the last couple of years. So I would say that active citizenship help young people gain some skills they need to have in today's world, and they cannot learn in the school. By attending classes, it is very important. But also, the philosophy of the university where I work is that knowledge itself is not enough if you don't know how to use it, and you will know how to use it if you are an active citizen who travels, who do a lot of activities through maybe NGO sector or wherever you find interest to be active. So you develop some core values over there. You mentioned, you asked what are those core values. So I would say maybe you learn how to be solidar. You get some responsibility skills, participation, also transparency, social justice, other topics that are very important in the community. And it is important because you know how much maybe this area of Europe suffered in the past. So it is very important to develop tolerance among people, to develop some other values that are important in order to have more prosperous community over here. So I would say those are some core values. Also teamwork, which is very important, leadership skills and stuff like this. That is something you cannot learn by only doing attending classes and doing everything your peers are doing at the school, but you need to find some other places where you can develop you as a person, as a professional, and as someone who will be decision maker or who will work for a company or for some institutions in your community in future. So that would be the shortest answer how I see it. I think it is not very simple topic, but I think that is something that can be only learned through experience. So it is important for young people to gain experiences, because that is the only way how you can be a really, really active citizen, and how you can be someone who is very well aware of everything that is happening in your community in future, and how you can be the best possible decision maker in the future. So.
Yes, I completely agree with Danilo. What he said, when we talk especially about youth active citizenship, it's really important to them to have some kind of methodology, but this is not only methodology, it's like philosophy of life. It's some kind of perspective throughout they can affect to their daily lives, but not only on daily lives, to their future. So throughout active citizenship, youth can take a real responsibility of decision-making process in different fields, in the political participation, in the social justice, in the human rights, in the mental health, in the climate change, etc., etc. So they learn through their personal path, to their educational path, how to take responsibility and how to make some decision that gonna impact not only their personal life, that gonna impact the big social group's life. And I would say maybe the key topics that are currently very attractive and important regarding the youth active citizenship, it's like political participation, it's like social justice, it's human rights, it's something that very affecting the whole generation of youngsters.
Yeah, I would agree with everyone. Just I would like to remind also viewers that active citizenship is not only about big decisions, about politics, about participating and changing the world. Like active citizenship is also how you take care of your neighborhood. Do you raise questions in your neighborhood? Do you pay attention to elderly? Do you pay citizens? Do you pay attention to every member of your neighborhood, not just because usually when we speak with young people, they say, active citizenship, participation, it's all about politics, about making decisions somewhere where we don't want to belong, which is we learned, especially with the proof of last year, where we had elections in over half of the world, and where democracy unfortunately lost almost everywhere, that voting is not just the citizenship and not only thing that you can do, but everyday life counts. And it's also in the attitudes. It's how you learn to be a citizen and how you practice your citizenship in a way. So it's not just about this being a part of the process of decision making. Maybe you're not at the top level, but maybe you are somewhere in between. Maybe you give your opinion. Maybe you take chances when there are public calls for consultations or whatever there is in your school, in your neighborhood, at the government level at the end. But just like, it's not only about politics. There are a lot of situations in our everyday life when we can be active citizens, so that we avoid that the situation that we are living, for example, right now in Serbia, where we have to go out on the streets to protest, to create blockades, to physically show that we are not satisfied. But if we are involved in everyday life and we don't, we want prevent everything, but we can do a lot, and we will be then in a better position and in a better situation not to have to go to these extremes when we want something different or to change something.
Thank you very much for this. So as we all three of you said, that it's basically up to us. So that we must do on our skills. We must also start from us, from those everyday, everyday situations. But also, Jelena mentioned that we also should have some kind of methodology and some kind of guidelines for the youth also. So, do you, from your experience, what are some good examples of active citizenship programs and policies for youth? Maybe it can be something in non-governmental area, but also can be something in governmental. Why not some program and policy that you said this is great, and we other people should know about this?
Yes, as you said, Dragana, we always think when we talk about active citizenship that it's up to us, but it's not only up to us, and it's not only up to institutions, because the maybe most common or most familiar practice is like youth parliaments or youth councils, but usually, unfortunately, it's something that it's very symbolic, but in the formal practice, it's not so useful. And unfortunately, then we have a very high % of lack of institution. Lack trust of institution, and then we had some extreme situations, such as big part or big groups of youngsters need to go on protestings for some necessary things, and then when we talk about some concrete methodology or examples, I would mention one really long-term and good project that Opens started, I think, 8 years ago. But I would ask Alexandra to give you more details about this project. But that's the project that we doing on the Novi Sad level, on the local level, in collaboration with the high school students. And it's a state high schools where we gathering the students in the small teams, and then they have some process that we call school participatory budgeting. And Alexandra will more concrete explain you what is this what we call schools participatory budgeting. It's some kind of methodology or method or tools which we as an NGO use to make opportunity and space to the youngsters in Novi Sad to have a decision, to have an influence on decision-making process on their school environment level. So Alex, if you want, you can share much more concrete what school participatory budgeting is.
Yeah, thanks, Jelena. So it's our program, and it's a really long-lasting program for 8 years. It's called Join In, Find the Solution, and basically it's formed on the grounds of participatory budgeting. Just it's very well designed and proportioned for the school level. So each school that wants to participate in this program actually now can apply. And what we do, we provide expertise in a form of facilitators, external facilitators who are working with high school students, forming teams. But what we make sure every time, in each stage of the process is deliberation, and we don't only have students who propose ideas and some suggestions for how to upgrade the school environment, but to include also professors, students, parents in the phases of gathering information, relevance of the topic, and everything, so that everyone is included. And it is the impact of the results is something that is long lasting. Though only students are allowed to vote, because we want to make sure that it's their decision. So all students from the school have right to vote, one student. And it's a very well-known practice right now in Novi Sad, because we welcomed 16 public schools and almost 14,000 students participated in this program for 8 years, and we have more than 40 projects, student projects that were developed and funded, so that but the process itself is something that teaches young people how to take responsibility, not just to participate in decision-making process, but how to be accountable for their decisions, and also how to take care of the project and the results, so that it lasts for next generations as well. So it's something that we cherish a lot here, and hopefully it will stay for long years in advance in the future.
Well, we really wish that program stays. And Danilo, can you share with us some good example of a program or policy for youth?
Yeah. So both Yelena and Alexandra said really good things that, it is very important to be active, but it is not everything up to young people when it comes to that. In order to be active, you first need to have a really good framework and motivational framework that can involve you in different programs, projects that can offer you a lot of possibilities. So you can, ask and you can find something that is for you. So when it comes to Montenegro, we have two problems. First problem is that there is lack of interest from young people in any topic right now. Why is that? It is, in my opinion, because the ticket to enter the theater, for example, is more expensive than any activity that cannot contribute to development of any skill or any value when it comes to young people. So we don't have any, let's say, subsistences for young people to go for example, to cultural events, to organize festivals, concerts, whatever. So whenever we have some cultural initiative or anything like that, we don't see interest. Why is that? It is because there is a systematic problem, because we don't develop and we don't raise awareness how important for young people those things are. From the other side, there is no many initiatives from these institutions when it comes to organizing some programs and projects where young people can be active and where can they work on different topics that are important for the community. For example, we had good practice by the Ministry of European Affairs. They organized EU Bus project where they were developing knowledge of young people about the European Union, the process of integration and negotiation of Montenegro. So that was something that is very important for high schoolers, and that was very well organized. But when it comes, for example, to the Ministry of Education, Science and Innovation, to other ministries, there is no much initiatives. There are projects, but in my opinion, those projects right now only serve as a way to report some funds you used. The output is questionable. how much effect you really make, how much impact when it comes to young people you really make, it is really questionable. So for this reason, at the University of Donja Gorica, where I work, and within our ecosystem, where we have a lot of youth organizations, we have also JA in Montenegro, the organization that I coordinate together with my colleagues, which is very famous in Serbia as well. So we developed a lot of non-formal initiatives, a lot of educational initiatives with a focus on different topics that are important for what? For the things that Jelena and Alexandra mentioned, for developing values, because being active doesn't mean only to develop skills. It is important to develop values that are in line with your community. So if we want to have really community that that is going to be stable and strong in future, we need to develop these values. Why, in my opinion, I need to mention this, why the protests in Serbia are so intense, are, I would say, not successful, but students in Serbia, they don't want to give up. Why is that? Because you have the system that was paying a lot of attention to these values. So these people showed that they will not give up on their values no matter what, which is something that whole Europe needs to see, whole world needs to see. Like, the values for us are number one. And what's going to happen with our semester, with our 1 year of our studies, is not important at all when it comes to our values. So that is something that is very inspiring for our community in Montenegro, I need to say. We have a lot of students studying in Serbia as well. It is very inspiring, and I think these people sent a really, really strong message when it comes to how to fight for your values. So they have these values probably because there were organizations, NGO sector, maybe some institutions, I don't know. I am not going to go into this in deep, but there was a system that was developing those values. Maybe one sector was more active than the others, but we see much, much stronger will than, for example, when we had any kind of raising voice in Montenegro for any topic or anything that we thought it's important. In Serbia, it was much stronger and stable because of these things I was talking about. So I think it is all about values, but in order to have those strong values and to fight without reservation for them, you need to be active, you need to go through a lot of things, you need to gain a lot of experience to be able to be so strong like the students in Serbia are now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for mentioning the youth-led protests in Serbia and what we can really learn and teach, how the students, what they can teach us about the active citizenship. So all of you shared some of your opinions on this topic. So I'm asking you now, then, what is the future of active citizenship? You told us what is like the good sides, what you see as a bad and not so good for the youth, but what is the future? What should be changed? What should be improved? What is good?
I think topics are going to change in future. Topics of interest for young people. I think we will have much more present topics when it comes to digital participation, when it comes to artificial intelligence, maybe the ethical things of how to use this, on how to protect yourself. I think technology will be more in center of active citizenship in years that are in front of us. And I think there are some good initiatives at the European level that are maybe going to improve a little bit of formal systems when it comes to empowering active citizenships. For example, we just introduced, I was in the working group that was responsible to develop micro-credentials in Montenegro. So we just introduced micro-credentials into Montenegrin educational system. I think this tool, which is developed of course by the European Union, but at the European level, I think this tool, for example, can be very, very useful when it comes to empowering formal institutions and giving them some mechanism how to increase active citizenship among young people. So this is something that is a good example, in my opinion, and this is something that will help put those topics of importance in the first place?
I think the methodology or tools of active citizenship will change. I think the youth wouldn't wait for the institution to include them in decision-making processes or in any different kind of format of active citizenship. They doesn't care if the system doesn't support them in some topic. If they see it as an important one, they want to include it, and I think they will speak up. And they will use the different kind of, let's say, more non-formal tools, such as protesting, blockade, such as digital different platforms, such as, I don't know, volunteering, peer educators format, like maybe they will, if they have some kind of influence on the virtual spaces, such as social media channels, they will use it. They will use their influence there to speak throughout different formats such as podcast, show, blog, and etc. Something that is more similar to them, to the new generations. So maybe I think the topics also will change. It would be maybe something that is more related to the digital area, such as artificial intelligence, how this impact to the human rights, I don't know, maybe political participation, maybe some topics will stay the same as in the previous years, but I think the format will completely change.
I will also want to add up with the fact that I think that there won't be concrete and strict topics or fields of interest. I would say that we are still not able to comprehend all the change that new generation bring with itself. I think that we, as older generations, will be left somewhere astray if we don't adopt new mechanisms and new ways of thinking and approaching to the issues, the problems. I would say that the environment and human rights is something that will be very much focus for future generations, as they are now unfortunately live in, and they can experience the violations of those very well on their skin. So I would say that would be the future of active citizenship, but on a micro level. I think that micro communities and every individual will count, and there is no a leader, there is no named person to represent, but the community that will represent itself.
Thank you very much. And actually, all three of you gave me the great introduction to also one important question, which is lifelong learning. All of you said how much skills and how much not just formal education is important. Informal, non-formal, volunteering, the conferences, everything that youth can attend and can be part of. So which skills needs to learn for their future in order to be, active citizen who will chase all those values?
Well, I think that Daniela already said that digital citizenship is something that is coming. Well, actually, it's here already. Maybe not that much in our countries for now, but it's here. So I would say all the skills to navigate through technology and also critical thinking. That's something that is, because it's ethical points of view and critical thinking, something that will be necessary for you to navigate through technology and through artificial intelligence and everything that will be so close to you. And you wouldn't be, if you don't have those skills, you wouldn't be able to recognize if you are on the right track or maybe scammed. So I would say those are the skills that are very necessary for the future.
think Alexandra said everything. Maybe just to mention one more thing, I think leadership is very important, but why? Not because everyone needs to be leader in the other way. Why is leadership important now? In my opinion, it is because if you, in the years that are in front of us, if you are a young person who doesn't have interest, courage, or long-term planning, if you don't fight for your skills, fight on every corner to gain skills, I think you would not be able to be competitive at the market that is present today, because it is the market of rapid changes. So it is not possible anymore to just pick up some knowledge and hope for a job. I think it is changing so fast that you will need to be someone who is always investing in your skills, who is always ready to grab new knowledge, new experience. So that in that way, I think leadership and these things are important.
Thank you very much, Danilo. Maybe Jelena, you have to add something.
No, I completely agree with Alexandra and Danilo, especially when Alexandra talk about critical thinking in the digital era, where the mostly youngsters spending their time scrolling on their phones, and they received a lot of information on the daily level. It's very, very, very important that they can select what is the fake news, what is the let's say something that is not fake, and especially when we talk about active citizenship, if they want to learn how to actively participate, they need to have this kind of critical perspective toward the society, toward the political issue, toward the economical issue, cultural, etc., etc. And especially this part of the competitive on the stay competitive in the market, because everything is changing very fast, and they need to be very flexible to be competitive on the market and to gain some let's say skills that will help them to find a better job opportunity. For them, it's very life learning process is very important to gain this kind of skills throughout different platforms, online, offline. It's not important.
So basically, we should motivate youth to learn through life, not just on staying on that formal level. Do you maybe have something to add also on this topic? Do you think that maybe youth is not enough encouraged and motivated for lifelong learning, or from your experience everything is in line and they are much more motivated than maybe the older generations?
I think by my experience working with them, they very aware about importance of lifelong learning, and they very aware that they have a lot of available free platforms, especially online, to learn or to gain any kind of skills. But maybe the main problem is that they have too many available content, especially online, and then they don't know what to choose, what is the specific field of expertise that they want to gain. So by my side, I think it's a massive different content that it's available.
Thank you, Alexandra. And you?
Yeah, I would just wanted to add that I think young people are very motivated for topics and things they're interested in. Maybe we don't perceive their motivation and interest as we previously, when we were in their shoes, in their years, expressed the same way. So maybe we don't perceive that as the motivation or interest, but I would say they're very interested, and they're showing us that. And maybe our approach is something that should be also updated. Not maybe necessarily, it should be something that needs to be changed and updated. But what we seen as something something that can be very useful is learning by their own pace, because time and private time is something that is very valuable to young generations today, and there is no money that you can pay them to spare more time than they think they should spend for something, and or invest in something, to say like that. So maybe we have to dig deeper and look further to see how we can meet their interests in order to stay on track and to provide content that is something that they will choose.
Thank you so much, Alexandra, and basically thank you to all of you. You were so inspiring talkers today. I hope that this recording will help our youth all around Europe to get motivated, engaged in their societies, and gain some great skills. And that this, like you said, is just one. We just digged a little bit today, but we hope that they will be motivated to go dig deeper and become more active citizens. Thank you very much for talking for us, and dear listeners, I hope that you will enjoy this.